In this video, we're going to help you master how to size an embroidery design, move it, rotate it, mirror image, and just some other basic functions that you're going to need to do no matter which project is on your to-do list next. Hi, I'm Sarah from sewingmastery.com, and we're doing all the free video tutorials on the Husqvarna Viking Designer Epic 3. Now, just a reminder, our most popular online class is called Embroidery Essentials. Now, these functions that we're going to show you are things that you actually need to do over and over to really get good at knowing, like, where are they? How do you easily get around and move designs to where you need them to be? And the key to this online course is actually the repetition of you doing over 15 different embroidery techniques over and over and over and over, and before you know it, you become very familiar with your embroidery machine because you're hooping each block, you're doing the same thing, but with a slightly different outcome each time. So not only are you learning basic embroidery techniques, but you're actually mastering your machine. We do have free videos in this course that you can watch. We'll have links in the description below where you can find in the course curriculum lessons to see if that course is right for you. Let's start by opening up any of the built-in designs. So this little flower off to the side will extend open, and you can just go ahead and pick a design to start to play with. If you touch a design, it won't actually bring it in. You're going to actually need to touch and hold it. So let's just pick a fun design from the children's themed tab. Let's do this little unicorn. Again, if I touch, it doesn't do anything, but if I touch and hold, it brings it in. Now, if it brings it in and it's not centered in your hoop, the first thing to know and to start to master are these 4 arrows plus the centering option. So just by touching the center, it will put it into the center of your hoop. Now, people always ask, well, what hoop should I pick? Well, a lot of times when you pick your design, it will pick the hoop size that that design will fit in. So before I even hoop up my fabric, a lot of times I'll open up my design, bring it in, and let the machine show me which hoop I'm using. Now, if it's showing you a hoop that you don't have or that you weren't planning on using, come down to hoop options and let's immediately go choose a hoop that you plan to kind of play in or plan to use. So go ahead through your list and find the ones that work for you. To close the hoop options down, touch hoop options at the bottom and it goes away. When your design comes in, it comes in with boxes around it as well as a circle in the middle. And I'm going to show you which each of these actually do. But if for any reason your design does not have a box on it, to do something to it, you will need to touch it first to select it. Now, there's different ways of selecting designs when you have more than one design on the screen, but for today, let's just go ahead and work with one. So these are kind of some corners that you can drag out or push in. You can make it smaller and you can move it around. Now, you'll notice that things will kind of pop up for sizes based on like what you're doing. So it will actually kind of show you what you've changed that design to. It'll also show you down here your sizing options. If you want to make it more than just proportional size, the lock in the center of the 4 arrows can be unlocked, and now you can actually drag it and we can make a taller or wider design without actually changing both directions at the same time. So if you need to make it fit, you have that option. If you're finding that you've done some things and you're not really thrilled with the changes, right up here you have an undo. So each time that you actually change something, you can undo all the way back until you get to where we started. Okay, so we'll just say that that's good enough for now. The lock is still on, so we know that if we pulled on a corner, we would have proportional sizing. We also have the option for sizing, not just in corners, but also by the icons. So these 3 indicate sizing. If I touch here, I'm going to get rotation, and if I get here, I get moving. So it just depends on which of these 3 are selected is what the machine is going to have it respond to. But you can also do it just by the corners, for example. But let's do rotation. Rotation you can pick here because this would be an easy way to do 1 degree rotation, Or you can actually do 90-degree rotation right at your fingertips. So instead of trying to spin it and get it exactly 90 degrees or 120 degrees, you can touch that. That's the quickest way to do it, super easy. But you can also touch and hold on this circle here, and that will also let you tilt the design to an area and go, oh, I like it right about like so. So do you notice that even though this corner is outside my hoop area, it is not a problem because the stitches are still inside the hoop. But if there is a time where you get this outside the area of the hoop with the stitches, your hoop turns red, indicating that it's not going to let you stitch it out because it's outside the design area. So again, I'm going to just pop that back to the beginning or into the middle, and that will be just fine, even though, like I said, sometimes we're kind of touching along the outside. So we talked about moving a design, so you can move it around. You can size a design. You can always use these arrows for super fine tuning. Now, here's a little note. This machine has such fine tuning for sizes and location that when I touch this arrow one time, it changes point or 1/10 of a millimeter. So these are millimeters, but But 1/10 of a millimeter is so small, sometimes we can't even see it actually moving in our hoop. It's pretty precise, and that's why we love it so much with this particular machine. I did mention mirror image, so we have the option to flip and flop or flip it upside down. You can actually do all the directions at once there. If I want a second one, we have the option just to duplicate that instantly. And then now you have two. So, oh no, now I don't want two. I can just touch the trash can and delete one. And I'm going to highlight right now, because you're going to start to see these throughout your embroidery experiences. Some of the icons have a little tiny corner triangle in the bottom right corner of the icon. So those icons that we see right here on this screen at this time, that means that if we touch and hold on them, let's do it on the duplicate one. So when I touched it once, it duplicated it, no problem. But if I touch and hold it, it's going to pop up with a little, well, how many would you like? And you could type in, say, I want 5. And up come 5 of them. Now they're all selected here, so here's what you'd want to do. And then you can start to select each one of them and kind of move them away from each other. Well, what we have right now is a herd of unicorns and way too many for our liking. Let's just say we wanted to start over. I'm going to show you what the trash can does if you touch and hold it. Now, if we just had one design and I touch the trash can, it's just going to delete the one design. But right now, I want to delete all of them. So touch and hold the trash can. And it's going to say, are you sure you want to delete all the designs? This will always pop up. And yes, we're going to just start over. And we're going to just bring in a unicorn again, just to be safe. And then we'll have it so we can put it back in the center and kind of start fresh before we go on. Now, there's one more part about this machine, is how do we get this positioned on the hoop for the exact spot? So let's say you have a hoop, you have a mark on your fabric that the design needs to be centered on. Guess what? We actually do not do it at this particular part of our screens. We will go to Stitch Out, attach the embroidery hoop, and use something called design positioning. Now, we'll do a video completely on design positioning, because that's truly what you need to know about getting your design perfectly aligned on your fabric. Design positioning is what allows us to do multiple hoopings over and over and over, and we don't even have to hoop our fabric up straight. You can literally hoop your fabric crooked, use design positioning to get it exactly where you want it to be. This proving a point. We actually have this as an online class called Design Positioning Masterclass, where you get these designs, and there's a bigger project, actually it's 20 hoopings. You do anything 20 times, you're going to get good at it. So I hope you'll check out that online course. We've got links below in the description of this YouTube video, and you can also check out free videos in that course to see if that course is right for you. But if I'm trying to align something up, I'm not going to do it here on screen. I'm going to just bring it in. A lot of times I just leave it centered. I tell the machine what hoop I'm going to use, and when I'm ready to go stitch it, I will go to the stitch out screen. It will tell me when to put the hoop on. Remember, don't put the hoop on until you're told to. And then as you attach the hoop, then we go into where on the hoop do you want this design. So I hope this has been helpful, and if it has, make sure you're always clicking like on the videos after you watch them. That's your way of saying thank you for the information. And I'd love for you to just open up a design now, move it around, practice sizing it with the corners, practice unlocking or locking so they're proportional or not proportional. Try out rotation both with the arrows and with the little circle that will give it a spin, and then also how to move a design. And let's do mirror image and duplicate, and then finish by deleting everything. Those will help you get familiar with the functions that are on your screen. Let's go ahead and delete, and we'll be ready for the next lesson. Check out all of our videos we have done on the Husqvarna Viking Designer Epic 3 in this playlist right here at the end of this video.